What's going on, y'all? It's your guy, the 10X Closer, and I am here to talk to you guys about business banking with PNC. So I want to give y'all a little insight on my experience with them, how quick they were, what they were asking, basically all of the data points for the most part with the account. So I'm going to show you guys how I use $100 to get $37,000 in credit. Want to know how? Here we go.
Yeah. It's great they don't pay they nigga. Let's go get it. What my motherfucking dog say? Yes, sir. Yeah. Most shit can't be telephoned.
So, business banking with PNC. Now, mind you, I've already had a couple of accounts with PNC, so I have some relationship with them, and you want to partner that up with good credit. So if you don't have good credit, get in contact with me. We'll put you together a credit program to get your credit scores back up, and we'll take it there. So anyway, let's talk about the data points with PNC. So the other day I went to apply with PNC for a business checking account, which the whole goal was to get a business credit line with PNC and as many business banks as possible. Therefore, you turn that credit line into cash, right? So, and when I say credit line into cash, meaning the difference between a credit card and a credit line is basically a credit card. You have to swipe and use all, different types of tactics to try to get that money off to do anything. So you can't buy a house with a credit card technically. It's certain things you can't buy with a credit card. With a business line of credit or a personal line of credit, you can do multiple things. It's almost like cash. So let's say, for instance, with the business checking account, business credit line account, I can take all of that money and transfer it right into my business checking. Therefore, I could write a check to anybody I please, write a check to myself, whatever I want. And once I pay it back, guess what? That money comes right back to me. So I have that money available to do it again. And the interest rates with PNC is pretty good. They start, if I'm not mistaken, at 5.99%, which is awesome. But for whatever reason, I got a 10%. And the funny thing is, I got my banking account information came in today. Not going to show you all my address, but if you could see the rates in there, if that was clear or whatever, because I opened it up. But long story short, so I got all my information in today to get the account open. Now, this has been, I did it on the 26th. So it did take a little while to get everything going. The business line of credit was supposed to take 2 days. It happened to take longer, probably about a week or so, to actually get me approved for that. They had delays, or that was their story. So anyway, long story short, let me get to the meat and bones, or however that analogy is put together. So let's talk about the data points. With PNC, I went in, my credit score is over 800. So that's great. But I got the call today that I was approved for $25,000 in a business credit line. And the reason being is, as a matter of fact, that was actually a counter. With PNC, there's the no doc lines. What it means is they don't ask you any documents. Everything is basically stated. So I went for the max. The no doc with PNC, I've heard some people say it goes up to 50. That is not correct. I don't know if in different states it's different, but here in Florida, that no doc goes up to 100,000. So guess what I did? I applied for the max. And what you need to do Well, let me take that back. This is not financial advice. This is for entertainment purposes. What I did personally was I applied for the max. And what my banker told me is that once you apply for the max, they will counter. They will counter if, you can't get it. And that's exactly what happened to me. Now, as far as the income, that was, again, stated, and your business income is stated. And, everything was on point with me. But when I got the call today in terms of the qualification, what I was told by the representative was that they countered my request for $100,000 and they offered $25,000. And part of the reason was high utilization on my personal side, which, I politely lost it with the lady that gave me a call from that department, because on the personal side, that doesn't make any sense because I have a 9% utilization. That is amazing for the most part. And, I'm trying to explain that to her, and all she could repeat to me is that they use Equifax, and I would need to pull a credit report to find out if this and that or whatever. I'm like, lady, no, I know my credit. I check my credit every other day. I know what's on there, everything. All right, looks like we had a little hiccup here with where the information was being saved, but long story short. So going back to the story, she basically said that my personal credit utilization was too high. And I'm like, lady, I have a 9% utilization overall on my personal side. And she just kept telling me, oh, I would have to consult with Equifax to get my credit report to find out if there's anything, incorrect with that. And I'm telling her, like, lady, listen, I don't want to argue with you, but everything is on track. There isn't anything, I check my credit all the time. But anyway, it was a back and forth, and I was like, you know what? This is going to get nowhere. Let's just move on with it. First of all, she said that they pull Equifax. Now, one data point is PNC actually pulls with Experian and or Equifax. So and I believe that's either or. Not both of them. So my banker told me with the credit cards, they use Equifax. With the credit lines, they use Experian. So this lady was telling me to check my Equifax or whatever. Now, mind you, once I got that inquiry, that was already removed. And that was actually on Experian. So she's telling me to check Equifax. No, it's not Equifax. It's Experian. Okay, that's a data point. So they're checking Experian and Equifax maybe. In this case, Experian. So, we was going back and forth or whatever. And I'm like, that's totally wrong. But you know what? Beggars can't be choosers. And in the sense they have the money, I'm not begging, but I'm the beggar. So I was like, whatever, I'll take it. I'll figure out how to get more money, because the idea with my program is I show you guys how to go to different banks with multiple LLCs and repeat the process over. But that's a different story. You want to find out more about that, get in contact with me. So let me get back to the data points. So with PNC Business lines of credit, you get a business line of credit up to $100,000 with no documentation. You need to be into business at least 2 years. That's the second data point. Actually, that's the third data point. Now, going back to virtual addresses, they specifically said no virtual addresses. They won't accept virtual addresses. And as a matter of fact, when I was applying with Truist, which is SunTrust and BB&T combined now, I entered the application online and it would not accept a virtual address that I had for my business. but that's a whole different story. One thing I'm noticing with the banks, like when you hear people talk about business credit, they're like, you have to have a virtual address, don't use your home address, and this and that, like it's the end of the world. And I used to say that too, because at one point in time, I think that was actually very, very important. But as I applied for credit over time, I noticed I was using a combination of the virtual office I had that I was paying about $60 a month, and I got tired of paying that. So anyway, long story short, I still kind of use the address in a sense. But overall, I use my home address, and I had absolutely no issues with that. Okay, so with the going back to the home address idea, I think that's maybe more accepted after the whole pandemic thing. Everybody transitioned to working from home, and a lot of businesses transitioned also. So, I mean, maybe they adjust to that and they're not looking at that as hard anymore. So, you know, I'll chuck it up to maybe that, because I've applied for multiple credit already, and I've gotten them with no problem using my home address. So I wouldn't be too stuck on virtual addresses. I would say, if anything, you would need a virtual address for your entity registration, so people are not looking at your home address publicly. If you have a issue, that could be a safety or security issue. All right, so going back, virtual addresses, not 100% important. Your home address is fine. The next data point is on the credit line. They are giving you 10 to 15% of your business annual revenue. Okay, the better your credit, the higher the lines, I would assume, in between of that 10 to 15%. So that's another data point. Now, those are my data points for applying with PNC Bank. I don't want to make this video too long. Again, 2 years in business. You're obviously your business entity in good status. You can use your home address. I got approved for the same day. I was offered a $12,000 business credit card with PNC. And then I also applied for the business credit line, which I got both. So that's 12 and 25. That's a total of what? $37,000. And for $100 depositing into the account, I was able to acquire $37,000 in business credit, which I can now go ahead and use to either put as a down payment on a property and rent that out, or flip it. I could use that for a Turo business. I could use that for Airbnb. I could use that for marketing, whatever. I could use it for whatever I need to do to, regenerate and make some more money with that. So that's my time today. Thank you. Please like, subscribe, turn on your notification, and please share this video with anybody you think would, take advantage. And again, if you need to get your credit together, because none of this happens with bad credit. So if you have bad credit, you need to get it together, get in contact with me, and, I'll help you out with that. So again, thanks for watching, and you guys have an awesome day.